So are we okay with all this? You have to deal with this triangle. And then you have to remember that you're dealing with theta over here. I didn't ask for the value of the angle, did I? No. Marco is 450 meters due east of the center of the park. There's the center. Marco is 450 east. There's my man Marco. Ray is 450 south. There's Ray. 450. What is the correct expression for the exact distance between the two boys? So I need this, yes? Okay, so how far is it? If this is 450 and this is 450, what's this? 90. So this, how will I find this side? Pythagoras is the easiest one, right? Square root 450 squared plus 450 squared. Is there another way to do it? If this is 90, then what's this? 45. Then what's this? 45. Could I use tan of 45? Tan is the only one I can't use because I want a hypotenuse. Can I use sine of 45? Can I use cos of 45? Yes. If I use sine, it's 450 over hypotenuse, sine 45. So the hypotenuse is either 450 over sine 45 or 450 over cos 45. All of that is correct. Any one of the three. Tavleen.
Okay, this might be wrong then, but what if we saw that like it's the same length, right? On both sides?
Mm-hmm.
Then wouldn't it be a special triangle and then you could just say it's root 2?
It would be root 2 if this was 1. You could also say it's 450 root 2. That's another way you could do it.
Oh, okay.
Because you're absolutely right, it is a special triangle, but 1 root 2 is only you're 1 meter and 1 meter. So this is now 450 times that, so 450 root 2 would also be acceptable.
Okay, so like let's say like it was like 600 on the test and it would be 600 root 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's 600 times bigger.
Okay.
An angle is in standard position at cos 1/9. Is cos positive or negative? Positive. So it has to be in which quadrants? The first and the fourth. It has to be there. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is 1. Right? Then it goes up there or down there because the 9 is always positive. Now I need the possible values. So since I need an angle, that's shift cos of 1/9, isn't it? What is it? 83. Which of these is 83? Top or bottom? Top. That's 83. What's this one? 360 minus 83, which is 277.
That other one rounded up to 80.
Oh, the other one rounded up to 84? Okay. See, I believed you guys when you said 83. Cool? Questions? No? Très bien. I would get a good solid C on your French test that you're about to have, assuming there is not a lot of verb tenses in it.
It's just questions.
Oh, right, it's oral. Oh, I might get a good solid B then. Verb tenses kind of mess me up. I'm really only good at passé composé, imparfait, future proche, un peu de plus que parfait, un peu de future conditionnel. And I'm really poopy at the tenses they use in books. In books, they use two tenses that they don't speak with. I know, I don't remember what they're called, but they're crazy. Do you know what they are? The book tenses for writing. It's like passé simple or something.
Passé simple.
I think that's one of them. And there's another one, and they're really weird. When you read French, it's really weird.
I used to read Garfield in French.
Well, Garfield is probably not using a lot of high-end verb tenses, I imagine. I don't know. I am not a real student of Garfield. All right. Point -5, where is that? What quadrant? Quadrant 2. -5, 7. Determine the primary terminal arm of angle A. So if that's the terminal arm, it must start there. This is angle A. What are the ratios for angle A? 7, no, not 10, you doofus. 25 and 49 is 60, 74. Root 74, right? Root 74, -5, 7. So, sine equals 7 over root 74. Cos, -5 over root 74. Tan, 7 over -5. That's A. B, determine the primary trig ratios for another angle that has the same sine as A. So if it's got the same sine as A, it must be in which quadrant? 1, because 1 is the only other place it's positive, yes? So it must be out here at 5 and 7. So what are the trig ratios? 5 root 74 and 7 over 5. And use a calculator to determine those areas. You now have 6 ways to do it. Any of those, shift sine, shift cos, shift tan, will find them. Okay, I don't know what they are. What are they? 50? 55? So 55 and 125. Hockey docky? Hockey docky. Without using a calculator, determine the two angles that have that sign. It's negative, right? So it has to be over here. I lie. It has to be over down here. Opposite, -1, hypotenuse 2. So how do you find them? You just shift sine of -1/2. What do you get? What is it? You do shift sine of -0.5. What is it?
You're not supposed to. I thought it was just without using a calculator.
Oh, right. Okay. So,
Determine.
determine the two angles that have a sine ratio of that. Okay. So, if this is 1, this is 2, what's this have to be? 1? 1, 1, 2? Nuh-uh. Square root 3. Root 3. Right? If it's square root 3, 1 and 2, this must be 30. Son of a... If that's 30, right? That one has to be 30, yes? So this must be 210. Why is that 30?
No, I knew that. No,
Okay. And this one is 30, so that must be 330. I didn't read the without a calculator part. Remember, special triangles. Shortest one, longest one. Across from the shortest angle has to be the smallest. 30, 60, 90. You did know that. Okie dokie? Okie dokie. 12/13. Cos is positive, so it has to be the x, because remember, cos is x over hypotenuse. So the x had to be 12, the hypotenuse had to be 13, right? Which means this has to be what? 13 squared is 169, 12 squared is 144, 169 minus 144 is 25, square root of 25 is 5. 5 and negative 5. In which quadrants is the angle? Has to be one of those two, because those are the only places cos is positive. B, if the sine is negative, where's the angle? Has to be quadrant 4. So 1, 4, 4. Why? Because sine is negative there. Everything's positive there. Sketch the diagram to represent the angle, given that B is true. So this guy is useless to us. This is the angle with which we are dealing. Find the coordinates of a point on the terminal arm. Well, if this sine is negative 5 and 12, then it must be 12, negative 5, correct? Because I went out 12, down 5. And write exact expressions for the other two. Tan, negative 5 over 12. Oh, we've already got cos. Cos, 12 over 13. And sine, if you forgot, is negative 5 over 13. Gouda? Great. Determine the length. What are you going to use here? Sine law. Why? Because you got a pair. 8.2 over sine 75. You need this one equals E over sine 58. Do I need to actually do that? If you see the work, you're good, yes? And it's going to be 8.2 sine 58 divided by sine 75. Can I leave it like that? Okay. What about this one? Sine law again, because you've got a pair. Right? So I need theta. So it is 5.4 over sine theta equals 5.2 over sine 54. Do the math. 5.2 sine 54 over, 5.4 sine 54 over 5.2, right? And then what do I need to do with all that? Shift sine, because I needed an angle. Everybody good? Now, Max, what's this one? Cosine law. Nice job. So, I need D, yes? So D squared equals 8.6 squared plus 12.0 squared minus 2, 8.6 times 12 times cos 55. And what do I have to do to all that to find the answer? Square root the whole shebang. Everybody okay? This one? Yes.
Wait, can you calculate that so you I'm sorry. Okay, I got it. Sorry.
What about this one? Cosine law, but it's weird, right? 24.6 squared minus 27.6 squared minus 23.4 squared over negative 2, 27.6, 23.4. And what do you have to do that whole thing when you get it? Shift cos. Shotzi, you are my favorite person when you feel you have done something wrong that you should have gotten right. You have the best reactions. I like it. You did. Who said, oh my goodness? So,
That's not a reaction. Okay.
salvage vessel. Here's the drawing. It's a little messy though. I'll tidy it up. The boat sees a ship directly below it. There's the sunken ship. Okay? It's on the bottom of the ocean. Right? The other boat is on the top of the ocean. It gets an angle of depression to one end of the ship of 29.3, because that's the angle of depression, isn't it? To the other one, it's 47.5, yes? Which means 29.3 is here, 47.5 is here. The boat is 143. Do you know this side? How do you know the third angle? Subtraction, right? And it's whatever it is, 180 minus 47.5 minus 29.3, whatever that is. So 180 minus 48 would be 132, but it's 132.5. Minus 29 is 103, 103.2. So 103.2 degrees, yes? Then do you have a pair? Then you sine law. Oh, wait. How far beneath the surface? Oh, yeah. So you sine law, then you find either of these two sides, right? And then you SOHCAHTOA with the side you found. Okay? Does everybody understand that one? Does everybody understand that one? Because there's two ways to do it, right? If you found this side by using 47.5 and x, then you're going to do sine, SOHCAHTOA sine over here with 29.3 and x, yes? If you found this side as y, then you're going to come over here and you're going to SOHCAHTOA with 47 and y. Is everybody cool? Okay. And finally, Chang, my good friend Chang. I'm going to show you how to do this, even though it was on your quiz. Chang starts east for 13 kilometers, right? So here is the beginning. He goes east for 13. Then he turns 135 degrees. Not to a bearing of 135, he turns 135 degrees, yes? Yeah. So all the way back around till he's going northwest. If this is 135, what's this? 45, correct? Then he goes 15 or 18K? 18K, yes? Then he turns home. Okay? What do you need there? Sine or cosine law? Cosine law, because you got two sides and an angle. Right? So you cos law to get this side, which comes out not to 13. Comes out to 12.7 blah, 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 blah. That's not 13. Okay? When you go to 7-Eleven and they tell you, oh, it's going to be $13, you don't give them $12.70 and say, how about it? Right? You're going to buy a house for $500,000. You don't show up with $490,000, do you? And do they have to take it? So if you make an offer of 13 here, do I have to take it?
Well, you should.
It is 12.7. So this is not an isosceles triangle. Anyways, once you do that, now you have a pair. So now you can sign law for the rest. Okay? So A is 18 plus 13 plus 12.7. B is sine 45 over 12.7 equals sine A over 13, which equals sine B over 18. Then you do your math. Cool in the gang? Everybody Gouda?
So are you saying you don't want us to round side lengths, but we can round angles?
You have to round angles because you guys haven't been taught how to measure angles properly. You still think of angles as being divided into tenths, which are decimals. They are not. Angles are divided into minutes and seconds, like time, because it's a circle. So half a degree is 30 minutes. It's 0.5 of a degree, but we don't measure it that way. We measure it as 30 minutes. Okay? So that's why we round our angles. We don't round distances. Ever. We should have even more than one decimal place. Right? But, like I say, 0.3 of a decimal place, oh, that doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to the moon, and I'm 0.3 of a decimal place off. From you to me, 0.3 of a decimal place is this much, yes? Will my spitball still hit you if my aim is off by 0.3? Yes. But if you are 5,000 miles over there and my aim is off by 0.3, where does the spitball hit? 0.3 off times 5,000. So you can't forget about that. Okay? It's a common sense thing. All right?
Wait, the front page was easy. The back page, we spent like 2 weeks on it.
You wouldn't like round these.
Just let me stop.